Good evening. Welcome to the Wendell Elamine James Show. Tonight we have Ramon on the show tonight. Ex-lifer just come home from prison. He did 28 years. So we're going to welcome him back to society. Welcome back to the world, man.
Thank
Man, glad to have you home. Welcome home.
you. It was good.
How long you did 28 years, man?
28 years.
28 years. How old were you when you went to prison?
21.
21 years. You was a kid.
Yes.
Actually, a kid when you went to prison. And where'd you get your case from?
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Okay. I want to ask you a few questions, and they basic questions. But we got this show that we have here tonight, and the show is basically for lifers. And I'm doing this show because we've been stereotyped. You know, we've been stereotyped to the point to where people say that this is what we're supposed to be. You go to prison, you commit a crime, whatever you commit, you're supposed to be in prison for the type of crime that we committed. And in some circumstances, I find that to be true, right? But in a lot of circumstances, I find it not to be true because a lot of people, you know, we temporarily go insane and we do whatever crime we commit and we go to prison, but then we come back. You know, we get our sanity back. A lot of people in society have been insane all their life, and they're still out here, and they're still insane, and they never come back. So my thing is this: we want to ask you some questions tonight, and we want to ask you some questions because we want society, we want the community to know that whatever crime you committed and went to prison for, you did that crime. You know, there's nothing you can do about that. You can't bring the person back. You can't. It's not going to happen. So what you're doing tonight, we're letting society know who you were before you went to prison, what you did in prison to change your life to who you are now, what you did before the board of prison term for them to find you suitable parole, and what your objective is coming home from prison, and what your goals are for the future. So with that, we want to find out what your crime was, how much time you did in prison, what your sentence was, and we want the world, the community, to know from you what your crime was, what your sentence was.
My sentence was 21 to life for committing a murder and possession of narcotics, sales.
Okay, okay. And you just stated that you went to prison when you were 21 years old.
I was 21.
Okay. So going into prison, your mindset was completely different from what it is now.
Oh yes, it
Okay.
was.
So how did you feel about your crime going into prison? You know, what kind of attitude did you have?
Kind of attitude I had when I committed this crime was
Yeah.
he was the person got what he deserved. I had no remorse, no empathy, no sympathy. I had no feelings towards him because the person that I committed this crime against was my stepfather, who was married to my mother at that time. And the way he was, it's like he was abusive towards my family and my mother, and you know, I just got fed up with it and
Committed the crime.
committed the crime.
Now going into prison, where did you start your time?
Chino.
Chino. That was the reception center at the time.
Yes.
Okay. After you left the reception center, where'd you go?
Then I went to Vacaville for 1 year. Then from there I went to Old Folsom. Stayed there for 2 years. Then I went to Calipatch State Prison for another 2 years. Ironwood for 1 year. Lancaster for another year. Susanville for 1 year. Soledad for 11 years. CMC for 3 years. And then Corcoran for another 3 years before I was paroled.
So you made the circuit.
I made
You made the circuit, so to speak. Yeah, yeah, yeah. At what time At what time during your prison stay that you come to realize that you had to do something different with your life?
You know, I was fortunate. I was fortunate because when I first started my time, I was in Vacaville. People used to tell me about, other inmates used to tell me about Folsom, old Folsom. And so I come to liking about old Folsom. I was curious about it, so I wanted to go see if it was what they said it was.
You wanted to go to Old Folsom.
So I wanted to go to Old Folsom. So they transferred me to Old Folsom. And when I arrived there, my elders, they're like, pull me in, and other people are telling me, we got these programs right here we're trying out. So I tried them out. They referred me to them, and I went. One was Life Plan for Recovery, and it was one of the last classes there. And it's basically like what I was taught before I got out. So I had to.
Life Plan Recovery, that was with Community Connections, wasn't it?
Was it? I believe so, probably, but this was like in 1991.
Yeah.
1991.
It was like, Community Connections. Yeah, they phased the program out after a while.
Yeah.
That was a good program, though.
Yes, it was.
It's a good program, yeah.
And because of that program right there, that's what made me realize that I needed to change. I needed to do what I had to do, and it made me realize what I did, what was wrong. That and what my life was before I went to prison was something totally unethical.
So you actually grabbed onto your change at a real early stage, and you doing your time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So did you ever go to NA or AA any programs?
Yes, afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, those NA and AA programs, the Board of Prison Terms, they kind of like refer you to those programs, recommend when doing your docket hearings. That's some of the things that they refer you to. You need to go to NA, AA. And a lot of times people don't even drink, don't use drugs, but they want you to go to these programs. And a lot of times you get in these programs and you can't get out once you start, you know. So you went to NA and AA, and what other programs did you attend in prison?
I did, what was that, Life Plan for Recovery, anger management, parenting, and relapse prevention.
And at any time that you doing your prison stay, did you give up?
No,
You never gave up.
never gave up.
You always had in your mind that one day you're gonna come home.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, I know a lot of times, I've seen the people over a period of time, they give up. They become complacent with the time that they're doing. This is it. They don't have no fight no more. They just stop doing it. That's why I asked this. Do you give up? You ever had any thought of giving up?
No, never. I've seen that too. Other people giving up by committing suicide, and I said, that's not me. I got to stand strong, because there's one promise that I've made to my mother in one of her early visits to me. I promised her that I'd one day make it to the streets so that I can be with her, but unfortunately she passed away before I was able to make it out.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But I made that promise to I kept that promise to her, and I made it, and I rolled it over to my sisters and brothers and their kids.
Right on. That's good. Now, in prison, you attended a lot of self-help programs. Your education, did you go to school?
Yes, that's where I completed my GED.
GED, okay.
Yes, completed my GED, but I was kind of like skeptical about doing college, and then when I decided to go ahead and try, every prison that I went to kept saying that they didn't have the program no more, so I didn't do it. But now that I'm out, that's what my plan is right now.
Plans are, right.
And that's what I'm in the process of doing today, is enrolling.
Enrolling in school. Okay. Now, you went to how many times you went from the Board of Prison Terms?
5.
5 times. Okay. Now let's talk about that a little bit. About you going in front of the Board of Prison term. You went 5 times in front of the Board of Prison term, and they reject you 4 times.
Yes.
Did you ever get a date and get it taken from you?
No.
Okay. So they rejected you 4 times. Why do you think they rejected you 4 times?
Well, the first time up because I had nothing, absolutely nothing. I had no skills, no empathy. I still had no remorse. I had no insight. The second time they denied me, I had a little bit of remorse, a little bit of insight, and then the third time is I had more insight, more empathy, more remorse, and I had a couple of skills. The fourth time, I had minimization and justification. I was trying to place blame. But the fifth time is when they finally granted everything to me, is I had everything. I've taken them trades, I've taken them self-help, I've taken them insight, remorse, empathy, and basically I opened up.
Yeah, everything that was needed. Right. Because going in front of the Board of Prison term, people think that when you get sentenced to a life sentence in prison, they give you 25 years of life, 15 years of life, 7 years of life, 27 years, whatever. And then when you reach that 27, that 15, whatever, you go home. But it's not. That's not the case.
No, that's
you
not
know,
the case.
that's not the case. They got people been in prison. I know people been in prison 42 years. You know, and they've gone a number of times before the Board of Prison term, and they're still in prison. You know, so you have to be to the point to where you have to find yourself in prison, right? You got to find you in prison so they can see that you found yourself. You know who you are now, and they give you another shot. They sign that paper and allow you to come back into the world, because it ain't that easy to get out of prison. You know,
No,
it's a job.
See, one thing about the prison board of terms, they also ask you, what happens if you die here in prison? And one of my answers was, I have already died.
Why'd you answer like that? If you'd already died?
Because the old me, the way I used to be, the way I was before I was incarcerated, that person has died. That person is no longer exists. Because I have changed. Today I'm out here into this real world, into the world of society. Today I want to come out here into society to be a better person, to be helpful, to be humble, to be happy, and to help those that are in need.
Okay.
It's just like when I first got out, you know, I mean, right away I stepped into the community and started volunteering for different organizations.
So, coming back out into society, you've taken a stand in being part of this world, part of this society, part of this community, law-abiding citizen, taxpayer.
Yes.
You know, where your rightful spot in society, right? And that's beautiful, because, like I say, people, you know, look at us as being that monster, you know, and we supposed to be in prison, but we want to show them who we are today, opposed to who we were when we went to prison. So, you know, you come a long ways from who you were to who you are now, you know, and you made it home. You know, you come home, you're in a program now. How's that program working for you?
When I first got out, I went to 890, Health Right 360, and it helped me because when I first came out, I want to come out with both. I want to jump into the ocean with both feet and just take off. You know, and they stopped me. They put me like in a cage. No, hold up, stop, slow down. Okay. So I seen the little gradual little by little, it's like you're holding a dog on a leash. Let him go little by little. Only go so far. And it helped me because it slowed me down. Let me reevaluate things. It helped me to righteously set my goals. To where now as I'm out here in another place, and there I'm starting to get my wits together, and also because now it's like I said, 890 helped me to slow down. So right there, now that I'm free to do what I please, I still keep that in mind, to slow down and stay.
You have more or less have boundaries that you have to keep yourself in.
Yes.
You know, you got to do it yourself. You got nobody giving you that leeway anymore. You got to do it yourself.
Yes.
So you got to the point now where you make your own decisions about everything you do.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
You know, where you can make choices today, and your choices can be fulfilled. Opposed to when you was inside on the other side of the fence, we made choices, and sometimes they was taken from us. Those choices. You might have a yard down, locked down, all kinds of stuff happened, and we had to obey by those rules we were, because we was inside the belly of the beast. You know. So today, you know, we're doing something different with life. You know, you went to prison during Brown Super Bowl. You got out. You went to the Walden House. Walden House is doing some great things. You know, they're doing some good things. They're helping a lot of people. You know, and I know a lot of people that's gone through the Walden House that when they first got there, I was one of them, that I ain't supposed to be here. I ain't supposed to be here. I supposed to go home. I ain't supposed to be here. But then later on, we get to the point where we said, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. You know, it's a good spot.
It is.
It's a good spot. You know? So now, what are your future goals?
Today is, I plan to go to college, take some classes for psychology. That's why I can maybe enter into that field, psychologist, because I like I said, I like dealing with people and helping them with their problems, maybe help them out with their own advices, or give them advice and help them decipher their problems.
That's good. That's good. That's good. We need people like you in the community. You know. So let's do this. Let's talk to the community, and tell the community who you are in a brief little spiel to them.
Well, as I said before, today I'm a humble person. I'm a changed person. Don't like violence. Try to stay away from it. Actually, I don't try. I do.
There you go.
I stay away from violence. I stay away from the drugs. I stay away from the alcohol. I stay away from all the temptations. And I try, when I see an opportunity to give back to the community, I step in and give back.
How about the programs? Are you going to? Have you gone to programs since you've been home?
Yes, I've been to AA, NA. I still go like once a week. Or I'll go back to 890 and give back there.
Give back, right. That's what we have to do. We have to always go back and give back. You know, we can't never forget where we come from. You know, once you forget where you come from, you lost hope.
Yes,
you know,
most
so
definitely.
we got to go back and show the people that's still there that, you know, it can be done, and this is how we're doing it. You know, we're making a difference. We're making a change within ourselves, and you can do the same thing too. You know, I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, matter of fact, and he was telling me, would you ever go back inside? You know, would you ever go back to prison? I said, yeah, I go back to prison. I said, the only way I go back to prison is if I can leave when I want to. You know, I don't want somebody to say, well, you can't leave. I want to be able to go back to prison and leave when I want to. So that means when I can drive myself to prison, you know, go into prison and leave and drive myself away from prison. That's the only way I ever go back to prison. You know,
That's the only way.
But like I said, we have to give back, because that's what we, you know, we're not forgetting where we come from. you know, and people need to see and need to know that, you know, it can be done. You know, when we left prison, we left a lot of people behind.
A lot of people.
You know, we left a lot of family, and they became family because we knew them. Some people in prison better we knew our family. You know, we spent around enough time around them better, more than we spent around our family. So we left a lot of family in prison, and they need to know that it can be done. You know, we can come out here, you can get to all the material things that you want. It's real easy, and you can get the food that you want to buy and eat. You know, any kind of food you want to eat, you can buy and eat.
Yes.
You know, I walk around sometimes with a bag of candy because I love candy. You know, and I can eat it.
Well, I don't know if we call this giving back some, but I keep in contact with a couple people in prison still.
Right.
Just write them, let them know how I'm doing, and then hopefully, you know, what I mean, give them some kind of advice and pointers.
That is giving back.
I mean, so
That is giving back.
let them know how I'm doing. So
That
this
is
way,
giving
give them motivation.
Right. Give them hope. Give them hope.
Yes.
You know, because you know we you know at one period of time, you can remember Pete Wilson and Gray Davis. They had a closed door policy, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
said the only way that you're gonna get out of prison in life to get out of prison is in the pine box. You know, and they wouldn't let anybody come on for a long period of time.
Long
You
period.
know, and Jerry Brown got in. Well, Arnold started with Arnold, slow process. Started with Arnold, got in, and was slow process. And Jerry got in, and the doors open. You know, so you know we can't allow people to think that they gonna be in prison the rest of their life. That's not true. That's not true. If you do the work, you put the work in, do what you're supposed to be doing inside. You know, start the metamorphosis inside the prison. Don't just wait till you come home. Start it in prison, and then come back into society and help somebody that's still suffering from a disease they don't believe they have. You know, so you know we appreciate you coming on to the show today. You know, we need all the lifers. I'm gonna try to get every lifer that I know to come on to the show because we need to let society know that we're not monsters. You know, we committed the crime that we committed. We went to prison. We did our time for it, and we educate ourselves. We did a metamorphosis. We changed from who we were then to who we are now, and this is our plan for the rest of our life. So, that's what your goals are, to be somebody in society.
See, and that's what it is. It's the TV shows and movies that where they go inside prisons and make all these films, so that they portray us as monsters.
Exactly.
So that's what society looks at.
Exactly.
They don't know us. They don't know that we're walking amongst them out here in the community.
Right. They don't know. They don't know.
So they don't. So they don't know who we are. See, so if we were the monsters that these movies portray us to be, it wouldn't be safe out here.
It wouldn't be safe. It wouldn't be safe.
But today, every lifer that I see, that I know, we're in the same boat. We're trying to stay safe. We're trying to
That's it.
stay out of trouble. We're trying to stay law-abiding citizens.
Exactly. Exactly. So, like I say, with that, we appreciate you being on the show today, man. We really do. We're glad to see so many lifers coming home, you know, after long periods of time, and we got a bunch of us coming home, you know. And I feel if you do your time, do what you're supposed to do in prison, you change your life to who you should be opposed to who you were, you know, you should have an opportunity to come home. You should have an opportunity to come back in society, go back in your neighborhoods, you know, in new neighborhoods, wherever you want to live. Have a family, you know, get a house up on the fence, up on the hill, and a white picket fence and a dog named Spot. To live the American dream, you know, and I really believe that's how it should be. And people in the communities in society need to know that this is who we are, you know. So I appreciate you coming on to the show tonight and letting people know who you are, and you know, hopefully somebody will see this and take another thought on get that life another shot, get that person another shot. You know, he all right. He looks like he's all right. Well, you really don't know him until you meet him. You know what I mean? You know, so Ramon, he's a good guy. I know him personally. You know, and he's a good person. You know, and you know, welcome back to the world, man. We're glad to have you back on the side of the fence. We need all the lifers that's done time as you have. We need all you guys back on this side of the fence. proving to society that we are human. We're not monsters. We make a difference. So I want to thank you for coming on to the show tonight, and we're gonna bring you back. We're gonna give you some months. We're gonna bring you back and see how you're doing, man.
And I appreciate you having me.
Right on, right on. So again, we want to thank Ramon for coming on the show tonight. We appreciate him coming in and letting society, letting the community know who he is, and we're gonna bring him back in a few months and see how he's doing. So with that, we want to thank you this evening for coming on the show. We come on every night at 7, not every night, every Saturday night at 7 o'clock. If you can't see us on Saturday night at 7 o'clock, we come on at Monday at 1:30 on Channel 29. So we come on Mondays at 1:30 on Channel 29. Saturday night on Channel 7 on Channel 29. And tell a friend, tell somebody about the show. Allow them to have opportunity to look at what we're doing. We're trying to make society know that, life has have a voice now. We want to tell society who we are. So give us the opportunity. And thank you for coming on the Wendy Elamine James